Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So in this video we will be covering uh, uh, the Helm charts, configuring our application with Helm charts. In the previous videos we have seen how we have created a simple Spring Boot app, then Dockerized it, then ran that app in a Kubernetes cluster, and now we will be using Helm charts to run the same app in Kubernetes cluster. So what is Helm? So Helm is basically a package manager for Kubernetes. So in order to the first step for this would be to configure Helm. So if you have not watched the setup videos for this video series, then I would highly recommend to go and have a look at that. It should be available somewhere in the cards at the top. So I have already configured Helm in my system. So if I just give the Helm version command, I should be able to see the version which is in my system. It's 3.3.1. So yeah, let's get started with Helm. So continuing with the same project and same uh, uh, resources and the class files, everything same. So what we were in the previous video, we noticed that we created this YAML file, which is for Kubernetes config file. Now in this video, we created like in the previous one, we mentioned that we created Helm, then templates, and this one. So what I'm going to do is I'll just go into the Helm directory and then issue few Helm commands. So first will be like Helm create. So this will give you a skeleton of the folder and the structures. So let us create with the name Helm create. It's a customer dash management. Okay. So I think if I refresh this one, I should see. Okay. This has created a skeleton like charts, template, tests, and a lot of things. We don't need all these things. Let's delete them. And in the previous step, we actually created this customer YML file. Let's drag and put it into the templates folder. Okay, and let's delete this one. Actually. So we have now we have moved our config file, Kubernetes config file within the Helm templates folder. Now in the templates, what we are gonna do is, okay, let's see what all other files we have. We have this charts.yaml. Here we can define all the dependencies. For example, we will be using in future, I'll show you. So like for example, Postgres is a dependency. In future it can be Kafka or anything. And the values is like, so here are some default values. We are not going to use that. So it's clean. So this is where we can substitute the environment variables. For example, these are our environment variables, the values. So we can substitute it here. So let's write the values first. So the first, we can just copy paste. First one is db host, then we have db port, Postgres db, password. And we can give the values. We'll use the host port is 5432, db is, and this one is, and let's paste, yeah. So we have substituted the values for our application here in the values.yml file. Now we don't need to hard code it in the kubeconfig file, so we can clean this. So the way we can replace these values is there is a templating pattern. So there is a convention which is like this one within this double curly braces with values. So starting from dot values, it will look for the values.yml file, and then what is the key here? The same, basically the db host port and all. We can just replace it over here. So I can just use it like this. So I'm just replacing the values here so that at runtime these will be, we don't need to hard code anything in this Kubernetes config file. It will be automatically updated or like replaced at runtime. So the actual values are over here. Okay. So we have created a Helm config file here. The values are there. Charts we'll cover later. Okay, let's quickly just test it. So I have this Helm 3 version. So before testing, we can do some kind of dry run. So for dry run, we can use the Helm install --dry. This is the syntax. Yeah. And we have to give the name. So whenever we deploy anything in Helm, we have to provide a name, which is called a release. So let's give it a name like test release. And where is our? We created the Helm charts in a Helm customer management folder. So let's give customer management this folder name, and let's see. So what did it say? Yeah, this has generated the Kubernetes file like this. So if you see, it has correctly replaced the values. So this is the generated Kubernetes file. Just note that we don't have this values here. So but if you see here, this IP port and everything got replaced properly, right? So yeah, so it looks like it's generating properly. And now let's do the actual install. Helm install test release with customer management. I think what we missed over here is we have to give one namespace, which is a short form of name. So I think last time we used the namespace demo. So we have to use this one. Okay, before that, actually, let me quickly create the namespace. So last time when we created this uh, mm, demo. Yeah, last time actually I cleaned all the minikube stuff, so that's why we had to create it again. So we have to do Helm install uh, uh, -n, which is the namespace demo, and then we have to give the release name, which is test release, and then we have to give the folder where our templates and config files are. It looks good. Let's see. Deployed. Says deployed. Let's quickly check Kubernetes dashboard pods. Error 3, 10 seconds ago. Services. Okay. Now it's very easy to uninstall also. So what we can do is Helm uninstall whatever was release name, that was test release. So let's give it a shot. Release not found. I think we need to give -n demo. Okay, yeah, we were missing the namespace. Now all this pod should be gone in a few seconds. These are deleting. Service is deleted. Pods are in the process of deleting. Yeah, they're clean. So basically, when we do Helm install like this, it is actually deploying the pods. Yes. So let's quickly check the logs also, whether the server has started properly or not. Yep, looks good. Let's check our URL. I think we are getting. I think I should actually next time going forward, I should add a timestamp also here in the controller like this, so that it gives me that what time I hit this one. So in this alive plus or let's use time dot to string. What is that? Local date, local time has a private. Okay, so I think we need to use this one. Dot now dot to string looks good. So going forward, I'm not going to build this one at this moment, but in future it will be helpful. Let's also add it to this one. Okay. Now the basic Helm thing is working. Now you might have noticed by now that we are actually hard coding this IP. So every time we stop and start the PostgreSQL, so this is basically the PostgreSQL IP. So it's going to change. Like we cannot guarantee that. So what we can do is if we configure Postgres as a service, then we can use the service name instead of the IP. So let's see how we can do that using Helm. So in the next section, what we'll try to do is instead of manually installing PostgreSQL and checking the IP and using it, we will use Helm to add a dependency in the charts.yml. We can add dependencies and we can configure. So let's see how we can do that. So for this thing, what we'll go is we'll move over to uh, browser, and we have this. I actually searched for Postgres Helm dependency. I got one link here, so it says like this thing. So first thing is we have to add this repo, Helm repo. So let's do it. By the time this thing gets configured, let's add the dependencies via the dependencies tag. Yep. So the name is PostgreSQL. Version we are going to use is 9.2.1. Repository is https charts.bitnami.com/. So this URL is also available in GitHub page. You can have a look at the docs. Uh, so yeah, so by adding this, it will add a dependency of Postgres on this application. So let's save it. Yeah. Now what is pending is like we have to configure the PostgreSQL details. So let me just quickly show you from where you can get these things. So if we just go to um, Bitnami Helm. So, yep. Okay, let's search with the Helm. So this is where the repo is. This is the install command, and there should be one GitHub link for details about the documentation. Where is the GitHub thing? Let's see if there is any GitHub link. No, it's the same. It's pointing to get started with Kubernetes. Okay, fine. Let's move on. So basically, there is. I was looking for one detailed documentation which I found earlier on GitHub. Okay, so I found the link. So it is this one. So if you go here, the same thing, but here few more things are there, like how you can configure the Postgres password, username, and all the variables which you can configure are available here. So from this doc, we are going to populate this one, this value. So we have to provide, sorry, we have to provide the Postgres configuration detail. So it should start with PostgreSQL. Now we have to give the Postgres, I think, the password. Let's search with password. Okay, password. Yeah, PostgreSQL password. So the password that we are going to use is Postgres. Um, there will be one database also. This one. So let's use it. That is name is also Postgres. And we want to define it as a service so that we don't have to give IP. And if it's type of a so service, we don't want it to be load balanced because this is an internal service. So and the port, node port where we want to connect is, let's say, I think last one we gave the 31001 or something. So let's give 31431. Yeah. So it will uh, like open up this port at this particular thing as a service. Now on, we don't need to use the IP here. So we should be able to use the release name dash PostgreSQL, like test release dash PostgreSQL. Whatever release we create, we have been creating the test release, so dash PostgreSQL. Yep, let's try this config. Um, okay, before this, I think we added the dependency in the charts.yaml, so we have to do an update. So the update is done. Now, before that, let's uninstall all the items that we installed in the previous step in the test release. So helm install -n demo test release. It's uninstalled now. Now, if we do a fresh install, it should helm install -n demo test release this folder. Let's see what happens. It's deploying. Let's check Kubernetes dashboard. Oops. Sorry for that click. Okay. Let's check the logs. So unknown host. So I think the ID is incorrect. Let's check what is the actual ID services. Hmm, let's see the default namespace. Is there anything there? Oh, demo. We actually expected here the Postgres as dependency was defined. Let's check. Let's debug once. So actually I missed this one, the spelling mistake, dbndns. So let's quickly check Helm dependency list. Okay, let's get into this one and let's, yeah. So status is missing. So let's give update, and it should update, and hopefully in this charts folder it should put the file after updating. So this has been updated with all the dependencies, and if I refresh this charts folder, yes, now this is present. Now let me just again uninstall the last one and reinstall. Hopefully, okay. Now let's get back to our dashboard. Okay. Test release dash PostgreSQL. Waiting for creating the container. Okay, let's wait. I think it would probably pull the image. Uh, so for that it may take some time. Let's wait for that. Okay, so now all the images are downloaded. So it took some time to download. Um, and let's check whether our server was able to connect. No errors as such. Let's check this one. I think this is working. Let's check. Uh, so this is on. Let's check a post and a get. 32001 post. Yep. And let's do a get. Note, now the Postgres is a separate instance, so everything will be clean. So that's why we got one as a ID. So this is working. So okay. So in this video, what we learned is like to use Helm charts to install, uninstall, add dependencies, and replace values at runtime using the values.xml and provide using the this templating syntax to replace the values. Yep. So in the upcoming videos, we will be working on the other apps. Like till now, we have been working on only the customer management. So in the upcoming videos, we will work our way for the order and product management also, and we'll see how we can add shell scripts to do these repetitive jobs again and again just with one command. Yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you.